The days are shorter and nothing is the same. Sometimes I'm overwhelmed by the thought that everything has meaning and that everything's supposed to be meaningful. So I get lost in trying to analyze things that don't really mean anything on the surface but actually mean so much more than you think. Suddenly, when you see everything this way, everything that you thought you knew, you realize you didn't, and that every preconceived notion you have on something and every idea is just a layer that needs to be unfolded, something that's actually more revealing than you thought, and suddenly you can't grasp any of the concepts that you think you know, and nothing really makes sense, and nothing ever did make sense anyways. So you just get lost in what you think you understand, only to realize that you understand nothing, and you never will. The days are shorter and my hands are cold. I always knew that I loved winter, but it's not even as cold as I'd expect it to be. The sun is in my face through a window, but it still feels real, and it still feels as hot as summer. And I never really liked summer because of how hot it always felt. How difficult it was to sleep, needing the comfort of blankets but not its warmth. Sometimes it feels like the cold and the cold water cleanses me, but I can never really feel clean. The days are shorter and the sun's face has lost its semblance. No matter how bright it can be, it's always behind clouds, maybe except for this very moment, but I never get to see him. And in some mornings when I see the sunrise, I can only admire it through eyes that haven't slept. And when I do wake up at the right time, the sun is already up there behind clouds, and I can't see anything at all. And it's like the sun's warmth can't do anything anyways. The days are shorter and the night doesn't heal. When I am asleep at night, I feel nothing. Often I dream nothing either way. And when I am awake, it feels like my purpose is rejuvenated at the expense of my own health and tiredness. I can spend the night planning how I'm gonna conquer the universe, but I'll wake up the next morning, or I'll stay awake until the next morning, and it feels like everything is dissolving in front of me. Everything is gray, molding, like rotten fruit. And the night doesn't heal, and I don't heal either. My body heals faster than my soul and my mind or my emotions, and it feels like I can't see anything moving forward. And I can see the wounds on my skin healing, but it doesn't feel the same as it did. The days are shorter and you aren't here anymore, and no one is. Slowly I fear that I'll disappear as well, and I know that everything else does disappear. Just like how the sun sets, and the day ends, and I still have to survive through the next one. The days are shorter and sometimes I feel like I can't take it anymore, but I have to. And while I'm still here and while the day is still shining, to miss it would be to miss your life and to miss everything that it can give. But to sit through it would mean that I would have to endure everything, and everything is overwhelming. Everything has meaning. Everything can be cold, and sometimes you're not ready for anything at all. The day ends and I'm at the same place where I began, and feels like everything is repeating. It's all cycles. Everything is seasonal. Everything is in a loop. Circles that never end, like ripples. The day is still here, and I am still here, and you are still here. And I can hear the birds outside chirping, and I'm sure they're not worried about how the day will end, or how life ends. And they only fly outside and chirp and sing songs, and I imagine how much better life would be that way. Life would be better if the days were endless and everything could last. But nothing really does, and maybe that's the thrill of it. A new day can arise only when the previous one is ended.